This is the proposed Foundations Portfolio Review rubric. I just want to run through some things that in the course of kind of going over it, I thought might need to be changed. The document on the left is, if you remember, kind of drawn from the AP Portfolio Review directives and rubric. So I just wanted and was asked to amend that so that it worked for our Foundations Portfolio Review, which of course is coming up pretty quickly. So to get into this, if you look for the yellow and the blue, there's going to be questions that I have about the document in blue, and yellow would be either some edits from the original document, which is on the left. The edited document is on the right, and or additions to the language that was already there. So instead of please review the list of expected skills and each expected materials for each course, portfolio should include items that satisfy these lists of expected skills and materials for each course, which to me just gives the student a little bit more understanding of what they're going to need in their portfolio when they turn it in. As we come to drawing one, we have the age-old question of how we as professors should have freedom in the types of projects that we are exploring or bringing the students through in each semester, but at the same time we're trying to treat them in a more unified way by having cohesion amongst faculty with the various formal elements and principles, as well as the materials that we're teaching. So I included or changed this expected materials under drawing 1010 by adding pencil out to the side just to make sure that all students are clear on that. Graphite is pencil, and then I added Conti and ink. But again, you'll see the phrase including but not limited to. Now, that is included in the original document, but if you go down here to my question number 1, regarding the list of expected materials for the portfolio, should the qualifying statement be as it is, including but not limited to, or should it be should include most of the following materials? Just to make it clear that they shouldn't and can't possibly, in every class, demonstrate all of the materials. We don't want to exclude materials that some of us use, and we don't want to force the students to have to, satisfy expected materials by only graphite and charcoal alone. So we want them to be able to kind of choose from amongst their works the works that best describe the next column, which is the expected skills. And that's kind of the underlying theme between both Art 1010, Art 1020, and Art 1030. So you'll notice that I repeat this question for each one of the foundation level classes list of expected materials and expected skills. And I can see right now that that should actually be skills. So there's an edit on the fly. Okay. So again, I think the idea that we should have not required materials as we see over here. In other words, they must all be of this material, but that we also have the ability to have range of the types of materials that we can see while still seeing the student fulfilling those expected skills. Okay. So the next thing that I wanted to talk about was the expected skills. Should there be a qualifying statement here? See question 2 at the end of the document. I like symmetry, personally. So if we go down to question 2 regarding the list of expected skills for the portfolio, number 1, can we really expect them to include all of these? Not everyone, unfortunately, is teaching linear perspective. And if they're only supposed to be turning in 2 to 3 works, which is the requirement for each of the foundation level classes, they can't possibly cover all of these skills. I look at it as if they're covering multiple skills within those 2 to 3 works. And we're not looking necessarily for everything, but kind of a quorum, if you will, i.e. the majority of these skills being represented. In the past portfolio reviews, we have not been so specific. And of course, that's because of the varieties of projects that various instructors require. For instance, as I said, what if a drawing instructor does not teach linear perspective or portraiture? And I definitely think portraiture needs to go from this list. So if we go back to my edited list, I changed some of the phraseology. Instead of draw from life, observational drawing. In parentheses, parenthetically, drawing from life. I added line or contour drawing, kind of fused line and contour drawing together. Demonstration of proportion and scale, representation of perspective and space, comprehension of value, light and shadow. So some of these categories I kind of peeled apart and placed with kind of like categories. And then instead of just plain old composition, evidence of compositional organization. If you guys have anything to add or clarify for either of these columns, please let me know. So the other idea that we're, of course, grading them on our other class is 2D design. I didn't really add anything. I did take the word rapidograph off and just put pins because I feel like they may not know what rapidograph means. I also just kind of fused color paper and collage together because they're kind of the same thing. Figure ground relationship I got rid of because that's kind of implied in evidence of compositional organization, which I added from here. Again, symmetry in the expected skills needed for each of the foundation level class. I moved up elements of art from the bottom to the top and principles of design because generally those come first and color theory comes later or simultaneously. And I removed the word color interaction because that's discussed underneath these primary, tertiary, and complementary / monochromatic color palettes or color schemes. So again, should there be any additions and or clarifications that you guys would like to make, just let me know, and we can integrate them into that two-dimensional design, expected materials, and expected skills columns. Now moving to the last column, which is three-dimensional design. Again, should this be phrased including but not limited to cardboard, plaster, wood, plastic, mixed media, found object. Again, I don't use plastic when I teach it, so I don't think we should require them to have all of these. So again, I really think that I do like this idea of should include a representative sampling of most of the following materials. To me, that's the best flavor, as opposed to including but not limited to, or should include most of the following materials. The sampling of these and a sampling of the skills is going to be much more, adaptable, open enough for the various faculty and for the students who are submitting. Now, when we're talking about, and I really haven't touched on this yet, but the qualifying statement and what this could be, I think I added a little bit more here at the bottom. So we talked about what needs to be expected as far as the skill items and the materials, but the qualifying language for expected skills should correlate to me or be related to the expected materials qualification language at the beginning. So should it be should demonstrate most of the following skills, or should include a representative sampling of most of the following skills. So again, I think to repeat the language and just replace the word materials with skills is nice symmetry. All right. So again, I didn't really take away or add anything in this column, neither in the expected materials column nor in the expected skills column. It was really just about clarifying those statements as far as the qualifying statements are concerned. As we move down, I really didn't change the scoring rubric. Instead of it saying display of expected skills and expected materials, I just streamlined it to say display of expected skills and materials. And then the scoring levels down at the bottom, I just created some more symmetry. I added an A column under level 4 to match the A and B columns under level 3, 2, and 1. And really I didn't change a single thing there. If you can see anything, like I'm seeing some scrunching up of the language here, but that's purely a formatting issue. If you see anything that you would like to tweak in the language, that's fine. Let me know, or let the committee know. Hit reply all. But I will say, most of this language seemed to be approved by the breakout session that we had at the beginning of the semester, and in the full faculty aspect of that meeting at the beginning of the semester. I think the idea is just to reduce the number of columns and nomenclature as far as explanations are concerned, so that it's a much quicker process with less categorical analysis. Everything's kind of wrapped in to these simpler statements. All right, if I think of anything else, I'll write it in the email. In the meantime, just respond and let me know what you think. Thanks.